My name is Sabari Nair. I'm the chairman and CEO of Polus Software. We are primarily a service-oriented technology company, and we are in Lila InfoPark. We started here in 2009, and we currently are about 65 people, mostly Java and .NET developers. So when we started this company in 2010, we took this one office space here in Lila, and our idea and our dream was that in a couple of years, if we could outgrow the space, we would have done good. And we actually did that in a couple of years. We outgrew the space. We were looking for more space, and fortunately some additional office space opened up in the same building, same floor. We took that, we started using that space 6 months later. So we have a total capacity of about 100. And we are currently about 65. Our primary business domain is the main line of business comes from research administration. So I'm handling the business in the US. The parent company, Polus Solutions, is based out of Boston, and I head that. And our managing director here, Abhilash, is the one who is responsible for the development center and handling it here. We started out as a development center for our research administration business, which originated in the US. That's a line of business which was very niche about 15 years back. And that is the financials of a research institution. So most of the research institutions in the US, and mostly in the Western world, they survive on not out of tuition, but the money which is coming from research grants. So if you look at the United States, there's about 30 to 40 large grant-making agencies. These are the government organizations which fund fundamental research at universities and research institutions. So if you look at NIH, which is the biggest one, they fund about $40 billion. So that gives you the volume of the money coming in. And in addition to the federal agencies, there's all these private sponsors, including IBM and Microsoft, who fund these research. So as with anything, when you get money coming in for its research, you have a lot of compliance issues, you have a lot of paperwork, you have a lot of procedures that need to be followed. So this line of business, or this domain, was primarily to automate this whole process. So the software, which was originally built at MIT, I'm the technical architect of the product. That's how I started working. I'm primarily a technologist, but I started as the developer on this product and then became the technical architect. This product became widely successful mainly because it came out of MIT. And large premier institutions, research institutions, started using the product. So it helps the faculty and our researcher to build a proposal. A research proposal, you have an idea and you know there is funding coming from an institution. You would build a proposal, and this has a very sophisticated workflow, routing engine. It facilitates a group activity on the proposal building stage. Submit it to the granting agency, either electronically or via paper, and then follow it up once you get the grant. How you manage the grant. It's a whole cradle to grave life cycle management of grant. And as I mentioned earlier, you have a lot of compliance issues to be handled. So slowly the other schools, the big medical schools like Yale and Dartmouth and Weill Cornell, they got together and started building other modules to the site. Like compliance, human subjects care, or animal care, or conflict of interest. All of this is done. So somewhere, 5-6 years into it, I wanted to do something on my own, start a company. So that's when we started the company in the US. And this was when outsourcing was picking up. We outsourced the entire development of this product to India. And initially we were subcontracting this to a company in Bangalore. And later I started association with Abhilash here, and we started this company in Trivandrum as our dedicated development center for our research development activities. And so then the vision of this company is that it's not just to be an outsourcing house. This company should have, Polus Software India should have its own character. It should sustain on its own, not just depend on our US parent company for funding. So the idea of our vision was that it should be a self-sustaining company with its own character, with its own clientele and so on. And I think that's where we are. So today it's only about 70% of our business is tied to our original domain. About 30% is coming from the new business and the new revenue stream which has been generated. So we have customers in Europe, Netherlands. We have a stream which is now working on .NET framework on the travel domain. We recently started a new product line for schools. This is, and primarily we're targeting some of the schools in Trivandrum, starting with. We're piloting with one of the largest institutions here. This is what we call a Podium, is the product name. That's a completely owned product of Polus. This is a platform which gives parents, teachers, and students to interact in one platform online. So you get the entire history and details about a student as he or she comes into the institution all the way through graduation. And it also, if all these players are playing well, it allows the teachers to put all of the study material and notes and homework submission and all of that online. And this helps the parents to interact with the teachers and also have it in one place. Just to see what my child is going through, how much, what's the notes, like, for example, my kid didn't go to school today, where is the homework? Rather than just running to my neighbor's house, I can just go online and find out the notes and all. So that's a vision which we are, this has been, it's nothing new, it has been, around in Western countries for a lot, it is being used quite a bit. So that's what we are trying, that's another one. And also the research administration domain and the product which we talked about is now an open source tool. It has gone into the open source licensing called Quali. It's part of Quali framework. What that allowed us is to take the product and make it our own product, put our own functionality and features into it based on the experience that we have gained by implementing it in US universities. So we built a product called Phoebe. That's what we are marketing in both in US and also in other geographic areas. So we have new clients in Qatar right now. There's a brand new research institution which is using the product. We are in the implementation phase of that. So it's not only just US now, we are getting into other domains, other geographic areas recently. So that's our vision is we're not planning to explore as a company or growth. We want to build a quality company with a very limited focus into certain domains which we are really good at. We want to make a difference in those functional areas, attract really good talent. We have really good talent here which joined us 4 years back when we started the company, and that's one of the things which I take extreme pride in. The attrition rate of this company has been one of the lowest in Technopark, I would say, till recently. Last year we did see some attrition, which is typical of the industry. That's when people mature to 2 or 3 years that they will leave. But our senior management, our middle level management has stayed with us, and they still do. So that's a value. If you ask me what's the dream of the company, it's to have that kind of quality people and make them want to stay with us. And I think the operations here and the leadership in here has been extremely successful in doing that. And as with any other technology company, the challenge is to keep your people happy in the work they do and keep them motivated and challenging in terms of technology. So that's one of the things which we constantly strive, is to look at different technologies which are emerging in our areas and give the people training and also opportunity to work in those areas. So mobile is kind of that even though we did not have existing clients who wanted like mobile technology, we started a mobile division. We trained our existing team to work in mobile, all platforms. And then we also hired some resources who are mobile. So we right now, our mobile team is doing very well. We have existing customers, but that's one of the areas in the next year or so that we would really like to focus. We are planning to focus and get some clients in that area. Actually, we are just in the process of completing a proposal, like responding to multiple RFPs for large projects in the Middle East area. for these mobile platforms. And they're also tied to the education domain. So our expertise in the education and research domain is helping us in building these platforms. And that's one of the things which we strongly believe in, that you can always get programmers and you can program anything a customer wants, but the success of a company depends on how good you are with the business domain that you work with. So that's what we are focusing in, to identify some niche areas and deliver quality stuff. And it's what we are looking for as repeat business. Like if we have a handful of good customers who stay happy and stay with us, we are happy that way. We're not looking for hundreds of customers. So that's kind of the philosophy, that's a policy which we are trying to do. And more than anything, I personally believe that a workplace should be fun and people should be having fun while doing their work. And I think we're doing a decent job at that. I mean, we see, even though I don't get to personally interact with them because I'm physically not here all the time, there seems to be all kinds of fun activities. There seem to be taking leadership role in like the entire, Technopark. There's a lot of events which is organized by this company. So, our leadership, the Abhilash and our HR team does a phenomenal job at that. So that's another thing. Like, it's IT shouldn't consume your life. You should enjoy. The message, I think, to entrepreneurs is, do not think about money. Do not measure your success in terms of the size of or the volume of the projects which you bring in. Always measure it based on customer satisfaction and your personal satisfaction. Do something which you like to do. So that's the number one. Whether you're getting into you become an entrepreneur not because you want to make money or become rich. You have to do it because you like. You have to have a passion. You like what you're going to do. That's number one. Number two is always keep the customer happy, and always think. So one of the things which I will always remember is, as a very young consultant, when I went in to work with a company, the owner of the company told me, like, there are certain set of people or like certain group who don't care about repeat business. That's the key. You should not look for new customers. You should look for one customer and get repeat business from him. And I think that stayed with me. It's very important to have that repeat business. So keep your customers happy, retaining your customers and providing value and not being a cutthroat businessman. Always put a personal touch to your business. Always. You have to be, if you are the entrepreneur, you should be the face of the company. There should be a character which is very similar to your personal character and the company's character. That will make you successful.